Look alive, ladies and gentlemen, sports fans around the world. We are back, episode 27, April 27th. Let us be the first to wish you and yours what a joyous holiday this is. It is National Prime Rib Day. We are the Millie Goats. We'll get to following us on social media and all that stuff here in a little bit. But first, it is also a special day for us because we have a very, and I mean very special guest. We have part of the UBetSmart podcast and corporation. Is that what we're going to go?
You cut out there. What'd you say?
I said that we got Scott from UBetSmart, the podcast corporation company, whatever you want to, however you want to introduce yourself as, my friend.
Oh, yeah. Thanks for having me, guys. Yeah, UBetSmart podcast. That's good. UBetSmart sports betting team. Thanks for having me on, guys.
Absolutely. These guys are awesome. We've been in communication with them. A Twitter relationship, I guess we'll call it. Now, that's how we know Scott and the UBet Smart guys, Chris, Jake, all those guys. They are fantastic. They've got a great podcast. They got great stories. They got great advice, great guests, everything you want in a podcast, they got it. Everything you want with betting advice, they have that too. So we'll let you talk a little bit about, we have a little table here that we like to let you go down, and you're going to tell us a little bit about yourself. So go ahead, my friend.
All right. Well, yeah, thanks for having me on. So I come from UBetSmart podcast. We just talk about sports betting, but then we kind of branch off into anything. We'll have, like we were talking earlier before we hit record. We had my dad on, and he talked about how he was in the band in the 70s. So we go over everything on the podcast. So subscribe and listen to that podcast, the UBetSmart podcast. And then also we are a sports betting team. I know you had a professional sports handicapper on a couple weeks ago. I listened to the episode. It was pretty good. But we do the same thing. So Jake and I, we're a sports betting team where he handles player props and I handle the team bets, and we send out picks to all of our clients. They pay us a little bit of a monthly fee, and then we get all the picks out to them. And we have been on fire lately. In the last 5 months, if you bet $100 on every star that we send out there, you would have made $26,000, and that's no joke. So
Dude,
our star
system,
yeah, and our star system is just like it's like a unit. And on Twitter, a lot of sports handicappers like to call it units, which is basically just 1% of your bankroll. So if you have $10,000 that you invested in sports betting, it would be $100. So yeah, so we're on absolute fire for the last 5 months. A little bit of a slow month this month, but that's happens in sports betting. But yeah, that is UBetSmart. It's a sports betting team, and we started a podcast too. AK, you were on the podcast.
Yes,
about a month
I did.
Ago?
Yeah, I had the chance to go on there with you guys. It was awesome. I mean, we got to talk a little bit of DraftKings. We talked a little bit of golf. That was a lot of fun. I mean, you guys are a lot of fun to interact with. So everybody go follow them on Twitter, follow them on Instagram, right? YouTube. I think you guys are working on that as well, correct?
Yeah, we're getting YouTube videos up. It's at UBetSmart. It's the letter U, BetSmart. And yeah, we're getting YouTube videos up. We're on Twitter. We're on Discord, all the social media platforms, even TikTok.
Yes.
I'm just glad that I finally have found out what a unit means. I never knew that.
Me too. I was thinking
nobody
units
told you.
$1,000.
I thought it was $1,000. I'm like, I'm putting 5 units down. I was like thinking 5K.
It could be it's a unit. They say unit because it's whatever you want to bet. If you want a unit to be $1, it could be $1. If you want it to be $100, it could be $100. But it's basically 1% of your bankroll.
That sounds better than $1 though. 1 unit. Hey, what you want to bet? 1 unit.
Hey,
Scott, I want to let you know and fill you in. Tex used to be a unit. His name
E-unit.
before he became
E-unit.
Tex was E-unit.
That's
Yeah.
So we could bet him.
Nah, dude,
Bet it.
you wouldn't win much for that.
Bet Tex.
Now, you guys also have the the $1 million, like just like we're the Millie Goats. You guys have the $1 million the bankroll, right? Fill the people in on that because that's fun to follow.
It's similar to you guys. Yeah. It's a mission to $1 million. So like I said earlier, Jake, my betting partner, he has a $10,000 bankroll that he does player props on. And then I have a $10,000 bankroll that I do team bets on. So we combined it for $20,000, and we're going to turn the $20,000 into $1 million, and we're giving ourselves 5 years to do it. And we're documenting everything. So it's on the podcast. If you're a client of us, you see everything that we do. We even give out free bets on Twitter, but we don't give out everything on Twitter. But if you're a client, you see everything that we do. We're documenting the whole thing, and we got to see if we can get to $1 million in 5 years. Kind of similar to you guys.
Yeah. I don't know what our plan is. Maybe anytime, but let me ask you this first question.
Yeah, I was close 2 weeks ago.
Yeah. Where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Me? $1 million. My bankroll's at $1 million. That's what I see.
Perfect answer. Okay, so
hire him.
Married with 3 kids. Pro sports better since 2000. Now, all of us, Butch does not have kids, but all of us do now. Tex will put you, if you want to talk about units like kids, like Tex will put you under the water, pal.
That's right. That's right.
How many units do you guys have?
Texas one unit might be more kids than you have.
I got 5 units. 5 units.
5.
Yeah.
I thought I had enough with 3.
No,
very fertile guy.
Get you a couple more.
Okay.
So,
back.
Yeah, that's right. So, carpet cleaner, pro sports better since 2009. Give us a little background on that.
Yeah, so I that's how I got into sports betting in like a serious way. So I've always bet on sports since I've been legal to do it. Even though it's not legal in California, which is the state I'm in. But ever since I've been 21, I've been betting on sports. My grandma taught me how to do it. She's 99 now. And me and her so I'm from Arizona. So me and her have conversations on the phone about Arizona sports all the time. And she taught me how to play cards, and she taught me how to bet on sports. But in 2009 is when I got serious. So I put $100 on an Argentina website, an offshore website, because I can't bet legally here. You're not going to put this out over the air, right? Am I giving away secrets? No, I'm just kidding. So I put $100. I put $100 on a website.
Think about my bank account.
We only have a unit. We only have a unit of listeners.
So I put that $100 on there, and I broke the cardinal sin. Is you're only supposed to bet 5 units max. You're only supposed to bet 5% on any one bet. But I bet $100 on that one bet. So I bet 100 units on that first bet, which is what you're not supposed to do. But I got lucky, and 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 I turned that $100 into 20 grand in 4 months. I started in August of 2009 on baseball bets, and then it went into the football season. And I got incredibly lucky. But then I started reading about it, and I got a lot smarter. So once I got up to like 2000, I never bet over 100, or I never bet over 5 units once I got up to 2000. So ever since then, I've been playing by the rules, the sports better rules. And that kind of hooked me. And it all went from there. It's all a story from there. We even after that. So what happens is, back in the day, like on these offshore betting accounts, they don't want you to win. It's kind of like blackjack, where they kick you out of the casino. Same thing happened to me. So instead of kicking you out, what they do is they cap your bets. So if you're betting $250 on every bet, they'll put it down to 100. The next day I logged in, they put it down to 10. The next day they put it down to $1. And so I couldn't, they basically like squeeze you out so you can't bet anymore.
They were unit shaming you.
They were unit. Exactly. Yeah.
You should have told them that you would bet in their currency. Like you would bet in pesos or euros or
don't think that's what.
Now it's Bitcoin. I think their currency is Bitcoin now.
Oh, okay, don't fight Elon Musk.
Or
Dude,
use
yes,
the
they-
caddy from Happy Gilmore and use a cracker.
So you were hot, and then you started betting smart. So you bet smart.
Exactly.
There you go.
That's where the
Is
name
that where it
comes
came
from.
from?
No, I don't know. We were just spitballing names, and that's the one we came
That's
up with.
awesome. I love your graphic, by the way, on the podcast. Y'all got to. That's pretty sweet.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah,
Appreciate it.
that they have the NBA jams where they have like the talent
Oh yeah,
levels, and then their faces are above it. Is pretty cool.
nice.
Yeah,
That was all
So,
Chris's idea, our producer. He comes up with the best ideas.
He's a cool. He and I talk frequently. He's a cool dude. Now, do you have a big package called the Big Unit? I mean, on your website. Let me get some context.
we do now.
This is a
Yeah,
kid's
that's
show.
right.
Yeah, I was about to say. Put it
Oh.
frankly.
Sweet, yeah. All right, that should be in the workshop, like is one of your tweets. The Big Unit. All right, so you're
We're
an
gonna do
Arizona
that for
fan.
sure.
You're an Arizona fan. How's
That's
that?
right, I
How's
am.
that? Okay.
All sports, just football. You Diamondbacks, Suns.
All sports except for hockey. I didn't get into hockey until I moved to California, and I'm about 20 minutes from where the Ducks play. And when I got into hockey, the Ducks were good. They're not good anymore this year, obviously, but they were good. So I would go to playoff games, and I like fell in love with the Ducks. So I'm Diamondbacks, I'm Cardinals, I'm Suns, but I'm a Ducks fan in hockey just because
Fair
that's when I got into hockey.
I like
Back
the
when they
Mighty
had-
Ducks.
Are the Suns
Ryan
going
Miller.
to wrap it up tonight?
Yeah,
Ryan Miller, Getzlaff, all those dudes.
Yep. That's when I got into it. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But because I learned about sports from my grandma, and she got me into all Arizona sports. So Diamondback Suns. I just went to the Clippers Suns game because they played here in LA,
Oh,
and my dad took me to the game, and it was a blast. Well, we won, so
that's awesome.
Hey,
KD.
so our high school had to play against Chris Paul.
Yep.
Whenever
had to
we
play
were
against Chris Paul.
coming.
Yeah.
Yes.
Is that right? Did
Yeah.
you guys play basketball in high school?
No.
No.
They're, one of our buddies, he tells a funny story about how, because he had to guard Chris Paul in high school, and he brags about guarding him because he said he kept him under his average. He said, Chris Paul averaged 50 points a game, and he only scored 49 points against our buddy. So he's like super happy because he kept him under his average.
It's like show me somebody
Yeah.
else that did that.
Outside
It
of
was a good
Steph Curry,
defensive
he's
game.
the best individual player I've ever seen.
Chris
Outside of
Paul?
Chris
Steph Curry.
Paul?
Yeah. Whenever he came to our high school and played, I watched him, and he was just crossing guys up all over, just everybody. Didn't matter who.
We
it
would
was.
lose by 40, and he would drop 40 every
Yep.
time we had to play him. Every time. It was undoubtedly miserable. You knew you were going to lose going into the game. Like,
And we played him in football on homecoming, and he was homecoming king too.
What position he play football? Quarterback?
No, he didn't play football.
no, he didn't. He played basketball only. But a lot of people don't realize this.
What a loser.
He and LeBron was on the same McDonald's All-American in 03.
Yeah.
So, but anyway,
Golly.
Phoenix, Arizona. I actually saw him play Arizona when he was at Wake Forest in New York, and we were up there on a family trip. And Lute Olson, the coach at the time, your legendary Arizona Wildcat fans out there, they were
He
playing
coached
at
at
the
my high
Garden.
school in the 60s.
Really?
Really?
Lou Olson.
Oh,
Yep.
that's awesome. Yeah, that's
Full
cool.
circle.
So
That's what we do.
dude, man, this is awesome.
You guys did your
I'm up
research.
there. I'm like, in high school, and I'm just huge Wake Forest, following them all the way through. And they're playing Arizona at the time, and Wake Forest was like, I think, at number one in the country. And this is when Arizona, I think they ended up.
Mike Bibby.
I forget who wins, but I
Butch was
watched
a
both
Butch.
those teams in the Garden, and that was the first time I ever been at the Madison Square Garden to watch a college basketball game between Arizona Wildcats and Wake Forest Demon Deacons. So that was pretty
Butch
cool.
was a huge deckhead. The Demon Deacons.
I was. Yes.
All right, there
Man,
we go.
that's
So
cool.
Let's get on to the
there's the
National
history.
Day.
So welcome to the podcast, man. You're going to ride along with us as we run through these shenanigans that we do, and then we're going to talk some sports, and we're going to give you get a little interview, dig a little deeper too. So the National Day is Prime Rib Day. This is quote unquote the king of meats. Some of the most common seasonings used on prime rib include garlic, salt, pepper, Tex, close your ears, rosemary, onion, oregano, and thyme. So, and the origins are unknown for when this day started. So, what do we think about Prime Rib Day? Scott, go first.
Well, I love prime rib. It's my second favorite steak other than filet mignon. And I like it medium rare. I love prime rib because it's kind of like a medium rare meat anyways, and I like my meat rare.
Yes.
I love it. My mom used to make prime rib when I was a kid. That was like every Friday we would have prime rib. So
Whoa.
I'm all about this day. This is the
Yes.
perfect day to be on this podcast.
Yes. And
Well-
it's on draft the Thursdays when it comes out. So, I mean, draft day, prime rib, J-Vi.
Isn't this a like what you eat on Christmas?
I mean,
You
Some
make
people,
prime rib for Christmas dinner.
some people do turkeys.
So to make it April is just kind of confusing. But my real debate here is I think that Arby's would have an issue saying that it's the king of meats because Arby's has the meats, and I don't know that Arby's serves prime rib.
They get a prime rib sandwich.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
Is it prime rib though?
But
That's
it-
that's not prime rib.
yeah. Yeah. Exactly.
Here's what I
That's
can
not
tell
right.
you. If you look up their recipe for their meat, it's like they use it's like a meat jello. It's
Oh.
shaved real thin. Yeah. Oh yeah. It's like they take all
That's
the
where
meat
you're
and
going
blend it up
wrong
and put
anyway.
gelatin in it.
I'm surprised
If
Amazon
you're looking
Prime
up a
has
recipe for meat, how to make meat, yeah, you're already off to the wrong foot. You know.
Anybody have prime rib today?
No, it's Thursday. So go
No,
get your
because it's
prime ribs.
Thursday.
Well, I had
That's when this
I
comes
had,
out.
Make it for the draft party.
I had
Yeah, dude.
venison.
You had
Okay.
venison today.
So not prime rib.
he thought about it too. He's like, I had venison.
Venison. It's
Like,
like
why'd
he
you go-
wanted
Nope.
to tell us, and then he didn't want to tell us.
Swing and a miss, pal.
All
Go
right.
put on your buffalo plaid.
I was thinking. I was like,
shirt, too.
was my cut the prime rib of the deer? But it's not. It's not. It's not.
Did you shoot the deer with
Yeah.
one of those guns behind you?
Yep. One
Yeah.
of them.
Come and take him.
Only thing that's ever touched that deer is my hands. And that bullet.
Okay. So there you go. Happy National Prime Rib Day, everybody. All right. Now we go around the horns. Co-host introduction. We'll give you a little tutorial on this. Scott, I'm going to jump ahead of this before any of these jabronis even try to. We are all pretty big hockey fans. And I'm a New York Ranger fan. And you talk about cardinal sin. I made the cardinal sin. In the midst of a playoff run, I shaved my beard on Saturday. The Rangers have now dropped 2 in a row. And I know for the rest of the show, so you're going to have to buckle up because they are going to be on me every chance they get. So I'm putting my hand up before any of these dudes jump on me because I know it's coming.
Yes,
I'm
Scott,
responsible.
as you can see, he's shaved now. Last week when we did this show, he had a beard like the rest of us. So he got on the show that we recorded on Sunday, came out today on Tuesday, and we're like, "What? Did you do something? Did you get like a haircut or something?" He's like, "No, I shaved my beard." And we were all like, "During the playoffs?"
Oh,
What are
my
you
mom
doing?
texted me. She said, "What are you doing?" I was like, "I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. I don't know what happened." Anyways,
The bet is we make some bets here too. So the bet is if the Rangers now lose the series, he has to grow out his soul patch until football season.
Nice. That's awesome.
Oh my gosh.
What's the series at? Is it 3-1 now?
2-2.
2-2.
Is it 2-2? Okay.
So he's nervous.
2-2. Yes, 2-2.
Because they've lost all the momentum. The Rangers have no momentum. And AK
Devils figured him out.
Look at his face. He's so nervous right now.
Oh,
He's worried.
okay.
First
right.
round out.
Slipping and falling. Can't
So
get up.
that's how we do our around the cohort. You know, it's something that's like just real quick, pick it off the top of your head, something that was irking you for the week or whatever. You got anything, Scott?
Irking me for the week? No, I guess the video for this thing. I don't know. Do you guys do video on this podcast? Do you put this out? Do you have a YouTube and put out the video?
We've just started one.
We just started.
Okay, so we did too. We just started the video. And what's irking me is technology because
Dude.
I can't figure this out. Every single time we start a podcast, the audio is messed up. My video's kind of been a little squirmy here on this podcast. And we're trying to do video, and I feel like where we are in 2023, we should be able to have technology where it's easier to record a video and put it out there on YouTube. But it just seems so hard.
Well,
Agreed.
and they tell you it's your internet. You get higher internet, pay more, and it still doesn't work.
Yeah.
I'm with you.
Luckily, this one, from what we've noticed, is this one, it goes automatically up to the cloud. So it's like saves it from your own perspective. So it hasn't been like choppy when we go back and watch or listen to the podcast when we get it done with it. So it is a little frustrating listening to it when we're doing it, but it's been good when we've gone back and watched it or listened to it. So
Yeah.
Is that here
All
on
right.
StreamYard? That's
Tell you what else is good.
yeah, like it'll record everybody individually.
What's good, Butch?
Okay.
This Perny Hayes that I bought. It's pretty good.
Yeah. Pernicious. Is that your I'm back? Is that your around the cohorn or around the horns?
Yes. No. All right. So, Scott, we have a Bojangles out here. Do you know of Bojangles?
He's probably never heard of Bojangles.
I don't know what that is.
Well, it's a fried chicken place that's kind of like a spicier fried chicken, but competitor of KFC or somewhere like that. But it's more of a local kind of thing here on the East Coast. Well, they have a sweet tea that they serve, and they call it a legendary sweet tea. Well, I came across the legendary sweet tea that said hard on it in the beer section. So I just bought one today, and I was like, it's not too bad. So it's legendary hard sweet tea. And I don't know. I wish I had the thing, the Bojangles logo and stuff. You'd laugh your head off just seeing this like yellow and whatever, just Bojangles, and you're like, man, what is this anyway? Because of the name itself is just kind of funny to people. You're like, Bojangles?
So that's the name of the restaurant is Bojangles?
Name of the restaurant.
Yeah.
Yes.
Bojangles is the name of the
sweet
restaurant.
tea is like syrup. It's basically sugar syrup with a little bit of black tea.
Yeah.
It's like what they make the prime rib out of from Arby's. They have to cut it into the
Same recipe.
Yeah, they just slice the sweet tea off of a Jello roll. Put some more hot water in there. All right, Tex.
Long toss is my thing. You know how growing up we had to you started close and warmed up and got loose. Well, my in-laws have a dog, and he's running around with this ball in his mouth, so he drops the ball in front of me. I'm like, all right, you're gonna run, dog. And so I grabbed that thing and hooked it like 200 feet as hard as I could throw it, and it brought it back to me. I did this like 10 times in a row, and I was like, I stopped throwing, and I was like, dang, dude, my arm. I can't do it anyway. I got to warm up or something. But man, I sat down later on, about 2 hours later, and my back started spasming on my right side because I'm left-handed. I was like, dude, what is going on? my right hip was starting to bother. I was like, dude, for freaking throwing long toss with a dog. Just hauling
You don't
it
have-
down.
let me
I mean, you come out trying to chunk it 70 yards.
let me
Yeah.
get this straight though. If you're only throwing it 200 yards,
200
you're a
feet.
guy. You're or 200 feet. Sorry,
200
you're,
feet.
You're a guy that needs a cutoff from the outfield.
Oh
No,
yeah.
200 feet is to no, it would be to
If
second
if
base.
it's 400 to center, you're at the warning track.
Oh,
You got to
dude,
need
yeah.
a
Oh,
cutoff in the
absolutely.
outfield.
Yeah. You get out there and throw it 200 feet.
Hey,
Tell me how you feel.
like Henry Rosengartner out
No,
here.
dude. No, dude. You're like Willie Mays Hayes. You're gonna run. No, you're like Smalls. You're gonna run the ball in.
Hey, whatever works.
All right, J-Vi.
Hey, mine goes out to all this draft prep. I've been working this week, and we're working with a team, and it's just how many times can you hear the same stuff? Like we got the network on our TV, and it's just watching it program after program. It's the same highlights. It's the same clips. It's the same every show. Every hour is a different show, but it's the same. It's the same stuff. We do a live hit, same information. So I'm just ready for the draft to get started, so we can move forward and not have to listen to the prep anymore. Because half these guys don't know what they're talking about.
Nope.
Yep. Okay, speaking of the draft, we're gonna
I'm
do
just ready
a little
for
bit
the
of
Panthers to like botch their pick.
yes.
Real quick hockey update. 2-0 Oilers.
Oh,
Kane scored the
okay.
first
Uh-oh.
one.
Here, we're gonna run real quick. We're gonna do a little round robin. I'm gonna call on you. We're gonna do everybody does. What do the teams need? What do they not need? Let's do that. So
Mhm.
at number one, the Panthers. J-Vi, what do the Panthers not need?
They do not need a. They need everything. Actually,
I was just sitting there thinking, what
I was
you
gonna say
say?
they don't need an edge rusher, but he just had surgery on his ankle, so I don't know how he's gonna come back. So I
Yep.
don't know. They
I'm
need
gonna go
everything.
second. What do the Texans not need? They don't need any massage parlors in and around the stadium. That's what they don't need. Don't draft any of those. Okay, Scott, the Cardinals. What do they not need?
What do they not need? Oh. They need everything right now. They need more money.
They don't need any more.
They gave up all their money away.
They don't
to
need any
Murray.
game consoles in the facility. That's what they
I
don't
was
need.
just gonna say.
All right.
I was gonna take something they don't
I'll
need is
take
Call
that.
of Duty.
Yeah.
I was gonna lean more towards the massage parlors. Didn't their GM get busted
Oh no.
with people that he was paying to be with him?
I didn't see
Crafty.
that.
Getting
Yeah.
crafty.
It sounds
All
right,
right.
though.
The Colts are at 4. Tex, what do the Colts not need?
Kings did score, by the way. The Colts do not.
The Colts
need...
do not need the Kings to score. So.
Tex, are you an Oilers fan?
No, I just think this is pretty good hockey.
Oh, okay.
Fantastic. This game is just going to be like
With his head buried down.
7-9.
At UBetSmart, we got a bet on the Kings tonight, so that's what
I've got a roster
All
on this
right.
game, and Kopitar just got an assist. Anyways, the Colts do not need another quarterback.
Okay. Butch P, what do the Seahawks not need?
Russell Wilson.
Exactly. Good
They already
answer. J-Vi, what do the Lions not need?
Quarterback.
Okay. Okay. What do the Raiders not need at number 7? They don't need any professional film actresses around the facility with Jimmy G there. Okay. Scott, what do the Falcons not need?
The Falcons, what do they not need? They don't need a tight end.
Ah, there you go. Pity City.
They got a tight end.
Yeah, they do. Okay, Tex, Bears, what do they not need?
Receivers.
Don't say indoor stadium because they definitely don't need one of those in Chicago.
Nope. I was going to say receivers because QB1 is absolutely ready.
Madden player.
Okay.
Madden player, 100%.
Which P? Butch P, what do the Eagles not need at 10?
Best shape of his life.
A Super Bowl win.
Nice. All right. So there you go. That's the not needs of the top 10. Everybody's telling you the needs. Not here, pal. You get the not needs.
Scott, we're Cowboys fans anyway, by the way. So that's why I gave them the old Eagles don't need a Super Bowl.
All right. I bet on
Text
the
them.
Eagles last year.
Whoops.
I love how you can turn into an instant rival. You're like, well, I bet on them.
Well, you win
Okay.
some, you lose some.
That's
All right.
true. That's true.
Let's
This
get
game's gonna have
into the water
12
cooler.
goals.
Let's get into the water cooler debate on the show. Water cooler debate. We've got an interview with Scott where we ask him the hard hitting questions. We've got Takeo Thursday. How dare you use other relevant sports news and the Inter Squad Dad Kings Jamboree. Okay. Dad joke first in the water cooler debate. What do you call a reptile that lives in tunnels? An alligator. Feel
God
free to use that.
dang it.
I will.
That never gets any laughs. And polls update: the
right.
worst ice cream from episode 25. Tex 37%, Javi 35% with sherbet, and then I was in third with butter pecan. Tex wins it with Rocky Road. Scott, what is the worst ice cream you've ever had?
I was gonna say Rocky Road. I hate Rocky Road,
Man,
and that's what won.
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, hands down.
Too much
I
chocolate.
cannot
How to vote.
stand Rocky Road.
Too much chocolate.
Yeah, what's
there's
the-
too much of it?
And there's like
everything.
there's mystery stuff in there too. I feel like probably
Right. I
like the
don't-
prime rib.
Yeah.
The Arby's prime rib.
What a prime rib Jello cuts.
The Arby's. Yeah.
Oh man. Okay. So that was that. Yeah, I've never really even had Rocky Road. I don't think I've ever even tried Rocky Road.
Lucky.
Rocky Road.
Take me
Take me
home.
Oh, don't even.
Just satellite
To a
Timothy.
place.
Okay. All right. So this week's question, water cooler debate. What is the worst or the hardest injury to get over when you reach the age of 28 or older? Scott, we're going to let you go first.
Does erectile dysfunction count as an injury?
Yeah, that's a diagnosis.
Because okay, then that I would never get over that if I got that.
Wow. That's a trump card there. I don't know how you top that. That's going to be hard.
I have a
Slip
backup,
blue
just
pill
in-
in
but
a
it's
drink.
terrible because that just in case you guys didn't accept that as an answer.
Yes.
Hey, this
we will-
is your answer.
All
Yep.
right, I'm going with ED then.
This is the
and I
water
don't-
cooler debate.
Just so everybody knows, I don't have ED, but I could.
Oh, here we
at
go.
any moment.
Backtracking. He's like text trying to edit his text.
Let's cut all this out.
We're just gonna bleep it out.
Okay. Tex.
We're gonna have to censor it if we tell them to prove it. Jeez.
Tex.
Put a huge black line over it.
Or a small one.
We're losing control here.
Tex. Right the ship.
I'm gonna say rotator cuff.
I see a lot of those.
From throwing too much.
Rotator. From what?
Too
Okay.
much. Yep.
Too,
And
too many
I've been hooking footballs for the flag football team today too. Feeling it right now.
Yeah, well, you're a body thrower, dude. You don't have any. You got no.
Where's
you
the
got no
ice?
hips.
Where's the ice on the shoulder?
You don't ice it right after the injury.
I need one of those packs. That's what I need. Just take
All right.
like 9 packs of
Hot
ice in my arm.
Ice.
Hot ice. Okay, Butch. What's the worst injury?
I'm gonna say pride.
That's a good one.
Yes. Good one. All right, Jay. Bye.
So I've been going back and forth on this because, I popped my hamstring playing kickball a couple weeks back. I've done some other things. I got a golfer's elbow playing golf. But the most recent injury that I've had that's been the hardest to come back from is this tennis elbow.
Mm.
And I got it from pressure washing the driveway.
Oh, no.
blowing leaves, and then weed eating. And now it's like, I'm telling you, man, outside of my elbow, when I squeeze stuff or try to like lift stuff, the pain just shoots up there.
Are you picking stuff up and going?
Yeah, I like can't grip stuff with my right hand, and I'm like, They're like, what's going on over there?
Do you meet anybody and they give you a handshake and you're like, nah, dude, I got to dap it up this
So
time?
painful. I've been fist bumping because I can't shake hands. Because like when they squeeze or I try to squeeze, the pain goes up, run up my arm.
You're going, ooh.
Yeah. I'm like, what's up, dude? Fist bump.
Where's the sniper? Wow, dude, you got tennis elbow from nothing tennis involved. All right, here's mine. I have a list.
Can you still open jars for your wife?
No, I haven't been.
Oh, that hurts the pride too, Butch.
I know.
All right, mine is
Yes.
mine is a neck sprain. I've sprained my neck like 2 or 3 times over the past few years, and it's miserable. I can't even lift my head up off the ground, and I don't even know what it's from.
Probably you slipping on the carpet in the bathroom.
And on the
No.
dock and everywhere
The
else.
towel that he puts down as a carpet in his bath.
The towel.
All right, so we'll get that poll up. There's the worst or hardest injury to get over when you're older than 28. Okay.
We're about to find out real quickly our followers on Twitter if they're male or female. Because if they're male, Scott's winning this hands down.
Yes. All right. Yeah, go ahead, Scott.
I was just gonna say, I think pride's coming. I think my pride's gonna be hurt after this toll, because I think pride's gonna come. But you got this.
Oh, got it. All right, we're gonna get into the interview here. All right, you ready for the hard-hitting questions, my friend? All right,
Let's do it.
here comes the music. Everybody, quiet.
Oh my. Sorry. He just got
All right, into the interview.
By the way, I'm a
Feel
fan of
high
I'm a
glove
fan of your guys' podcast, and my favorite part is when AK yells at you guys to not say anything during the segues music. He's like, "All right, everybody, shut up!" And then he plays the music. It makes me laugh every time.
And then Tex always does something stupid in the middle of it.
I'm just telling
It's
you.
like,
You got to see this goal.
I don't want to see the look.
High
Okay.
glove side.
All right,
in front of.
upper top cheddar. Here's the interview segment. So now, a little. So I'd heard that you play DK, you play DraftKings, and you were hot last week. So give
you
the
heard that,
people,
huh?
yeah. So tell us what you were doing.
Yeah, so you guys got me into DraftKings because that's pretty much all I can do out here legally in California is play fantasy. So I've been doing golf, and we have a model that we use. It's pretty much like a robot that me and Jake, we put in the numbers and we kind of like adjust it to how we want it to do. And so we have a model for golf that we make for golf bets. So we were wondering, like, what if we created the model to tell us what lineup to do for golf?
Yeah.
So we've been doing that over the last 3 weeks. Now, I know one of your guys' questions. I'm going to steal the question from you. I know one of your guys' question is, do I believe in you guys in the Millie? And
That was the next question.
That's a two-parter, actually. One is, yes, I do believe in you guys, but there's a hidden question in that is, do I think you guys are actually going to do it? And from a betting standpoint, you're probably not going to do it. Sorry.
Probably not.
Would you put a unit on us?
But I would put 1 unit on you guys. Yeah,
Okay.
absolutely. Because I believe in you. I definitely believe in you. I believe in you so much that I've started doing it myself. So me and Chris and Chris's brother, Robert, we've started betting on DraftKings, and we're doing the Millie golf with you guys. But from a betting standpoint, since the Millie is such like a lottery thing, if you're gonna actually make money on DraftKings, the only thing that adds up mathematically is heads up or 50-50s. 50-50 is actually more because there's more people in it. So I've been doing the 50-50s with our model, and last week I did 13 of them and I went 13-0, which is crazy.
13-0.
Only problem is this week with that kind of crazy tournament with the pairings didn't do as good. Out of 10 of them, went 4 and 6 this past week. But still, I think it shows some promise.
That almost gets your money back, though, right?
Yeah, I lost a little bit because the Millie trying the Millie and then losing 2 of them, 4 out of 6 or 4 out of 10. So, but that's okay. The other one went 13-0. I'm going to do the same thing this week. I'll let you guys know how it goes.
Please do. Yeah, that was. I had heard that and I was like, wow. Because we typically just, like I told you this whenever I came on your show, is that we typically roll in the 3 max entries or the millies or the GPP style, which is basically huge payout or you lose money, basically. Like there's really no
in 50-50s. I'm a 50-50 guy. I've just gotten into the multipliers too, and I know that like it's a long shot to win those. But I cashed on my first one, so now I'm hooked. Now I think I can do it every time.
And I think you can make money in multipliers because it's basically a plus 200, like the Kings were tonight, plus 200. It's basically a plus 200. So if you win more than 33% of the time, you're going to make money.
There you go.
Perfect.
So, all right. So, yes, you do play DraftKings, and we love that. It's awesome. It's such a rush. And then, like, you'll have a really good week, and you're like, this is awesome. I got it figured out. Boom. Right back to reality. Like, that's what it does. So,
I think DraftKings to me is a lot like the actual game of golf. I don't know if you play it or not, but it's like, holes 1 through 6, you're terrible. 6 through 12, you're great. You're like, oh, I figured this out. I'm going to be great. The last hole, 13 through 17, going bad, south. 18, you birdie. You're like, I got this. Now I got to come back. I feel like DraftKings is a lot like that, up and down, up and down. It's like, just figuring out the valley.
It's a lot like that. If I shoot an 80 on a round, I'm thinking about it the entire week. Like I'm playing like, oh man, I can hit in the 70s next time. I'm like playing the whole course in my head before I go to bed at night. And then the next round I shoot 92 and I'm like, I hate this game.
Yeah. This is the worst thing. Whose idea was this? Yeah. Did you get a putter from the guy?
He didn't give me one of the putters. He brought 2 putters.
Yeah.
And I mean, those are high-end putters with like leather grips. And so I was eyeing them the whole time, seeing if he would maybe like give me one, but he didn't give me one. But I am going to order one. I mean, I should pay like everybody else. So I'm going to order one. Putter is everything to me. And I had a putter that I used to work at a golf course when I was like in a teenager. Coda de Casa, Paul Goidos was a member there. And one of the cool things about being a cart boy is that you can take the clubs. You can pretty much jack the clubs that haven't been claimed in the last like couple months. So I found a putter that I loved that I had for 20 years and I no longer have that putter. So I'm currently looking for a putter. Maybe I'm gonna try out one of those putters because they look awesome.
How did you lose it? Did it break?
I did. So it was an old Fisher putter with like a red rubber insert. I mean, it was a cheap putter. It wasn't anything that like anybody's playing with these days.
Like the one you play mini golf with?
Kind of like a one step above. Pretty
the little hook, little hook at the end.
Oh, maybe that's where I gotta go to the mini golf and find where my putter is.
You know how those putters are made? They're actually prime rib jello from Arby's.
Hey, Happy had to go to the mini golf, figure out his putting game.
Heck yeah!
Oh, did you see using the grip though? That new grip?
Yeah.
I don't know what they.
All right, so J-Vi.
It's a funny name.
Yeah, so you kind of answered my first question. That was, I always like to ask this question to bettors, is because we feel like we played football and we get all involved and emotionally involved in football, and we have to remind ourselves, to play with our fantasy gut and not play with our football brains because our brains get us in trouble. Do you guys do that sometimes with your betting? your gut's telling you this, but the analytics are saying something else.
We do the same exact thing. And even though I do it, I still kind of get down if I'm in a losing month. But the way that we set up our thing is our systems is that we're completely out of it. Like we can't even put our own. So it's basically just, it's kind of like a robotic. It's just a robot that does it, because we've created a model and also systems that kind of just put an output of a bet. So we've completely taken our human element out of the system. And that's
Smart.
kind of where we get around that. But I still root for the bets, and I still get down when I'm winning. I get up when I'm, or down when I'm losing, up when I'm winning. But as far as the bets go, my opinion is not in the algorithm. So my opinion doesn't matter on the bets.
That's smart.
So you and Chris and Jake, right? Now, how did that, I know you guys have known each other. So, but give people kind of the backstory on that and how everything kind of came to fruition with everything you got going on with UBetSmart.
Yeah. So with me and Jake, as far as betting partners go, so back in the day when I was telling you that I was getting 86th from the websites, what I did is I started hitting up all my friends, and I'm like, hey, I can't bet these bets under my name. So let's open up an account in your name, and I'll tell you what to bet, and then we'll just split it 50-50. And so I did that with a bunch of different friends, ran through all my friends. And the one friend that stuck out was Jake, because Jake kind of knew the system. You were talking about, JVI, you were talking about putting like your emotions into it. All of my friends that I would bet with it, they would put their emotions into it. And they would say like, hey, I want to do this. I want to do this. I'm like, no, you can't do that. That's not part of the system. But the only person who didn't do that was Jake. So after we kind of went through all the different accounts, I told Jake, I was like, hey, do you want to do this with me? Because you kind of seem to have like the mentality to keep yourself out of it. And he's like, yeah, let's do it. So we started going through like all the people that he knew. Eventually they were on to us, and they sent us an email saying that we were part of like this like betting ring.
Yeah, some mafia.
Yeah. Like, we're not betting that much money. I mean, come on. But so that's kind of where UBetSmart came from, is that we no longer could open up accounts with our friends. So we thought, well, why don't we just like put it out there as handicappers, and we'll like charge a fee, and then people can bet the bets that we want to bet that we can't bet. So that's how everything came with me and Jake. Chris is an old friend of me and Jake from 25 years ago from high school. And he is kind of like a go-getter. He's a producer type of guy. So we wanted to start the podcast, the UBetSmart podcast. And Chris is like, I want to be a part of that. And he kind of took it over, and he's completely taken it over. He produces the whole thing, and he kind of runs the show as far as like marketing and production. And because he's good at that. I'm not that great at that. Me and Jake are more like numbers guys. So we're not like out there marketing guys, and we need a guy like Chris.
Yeah. I love the story.
That's pretty cool. Yeah. Because you're looking around, you have 4 guys right here that have been buddies for a long time, and it's really cool. I was thinking about this actually earlier today. I'm like, man, the funnest thing to me is getting on here and collabing with them, and then now we're like networking with like all these, like you, Scott, and all these other people with a similar interests, and it's so cool, that you have like, I don't know, a fraternity almost of betters, and everyone can share winning and losing stories together,
And we all have different
And
techniques. Like with you guys, like you talk about this stuff that you build and things like that. Like I'm always amazed by that, because I know that takes some high intellect and some very thought out statistical analysis. And I'm like, man, I have a great amount of respect for that.
And there's a sports betting community, like you said, Butch, and then also the podcasting community. like we're doing now. That's it's so much fun to get on here and just like shoot the shit with you guys. I don't know if I'm allowed to cuss on the podcast, but I already did. But it's like
You also told us you had ED, so it's fine.
that was
It's
good point.
coping mechanism.
You guys can clip that one. I curse myself. But that's the thing about this the podcast community is even more fun than the sports betting community, because it's fun to get on here and like cut it up with you guys, and we're meeting a lot of people that also like to do what we're doing, and it's a blast.
And you get to talk about it.
Oh,
and
absolutely.
Everybody has a different strategy. Like it's, that everybody has their own thing that they, we'll get into it here in a minute when we tell you a little bit about our DraftKings for the Mexico, some of the stuff that we may look at. So, Tex, you got a question? And
do you bet horse racing?
That's a great question. Yes, I do, and I do not handicap it. And there's a specific reason why you should not or you should never listen to a horse racing handicapper. Tex, you know why?
Because I don't know what they're talking about. Guessing.
Close. Actually, that's way off. That's
close, but no.
They do know what they're talking about.
Venison and prime rib stuff.
But with horse, I'm going to give a secret right here. But with horse racing handicappers, they do know what they're talking about, but they're trying to trick you, because the way that betting is set up in horse racing is it's not fixed. So like if I bet the Warriors tonight, like Golden State Warriors, whatever the line is when I put the money in, that's what the line is going to be. But with horse racing, as you probably know, Tex, if you bet it, the line changes and it doesn't. It ends up wherever it closes at, and that's the line that you get. And that line is based off of all the money. It's the pool. So they pooled all the money together, and whoever has the most money, that's the favorite. So it's a mathematical equation where the money is distributed equally. So if I want a horse to win, I don't want you to bet on it. Because if you bet on it too, and everybody in this room bets on it, then the odds go way down and I don't win as much money. So if I want a horse to win, I'm going to tell you to bet on a different horse. So you put money on the other side and my odds go up. That's why you should never trust anybody who's giving you horse racing picks.
Whoa.
But
it's
then,
kind of
then
a
it
dirty
can
secret.
be a cat and mouse game. Is he really wanting this horse to win, or is he not?
Then you bet on just two of them.
You know?
Scott, I actually learned I learned some of that the hard way because I've been fortunate enough to go to the Kentucky Derby for a few years. And 2019, I went with some of my wife's cousins, and they were like, bet on this certain horse because this one jockey is riding the horse. So I looked at that horse. I looked in the program, and I think it was like 70-1 odds or something. And I'm like, it's got the worst odds out of all the horses. But I'm like, you guys told me to bet on this horse because this jockey was riding it. So I put $20 on it. Well, come to find out a few hours later, because this was like earlier on in the day, a few hours later, I come to find out that I read the line wrong, and the jockey that they told me to ride was riding a different horse. So I still had this $20 bet at what I thought was 70-1. Well, fast forward to the race. That was a race that the favorite came over a few lanes and he got disqualified. So the horse that finished second ended up winning the race. That was the horse that I bet on at 70-1. But I think it closed at like 63-1. So I didn't get as much money as I thought I was getting, but I still got, good money. But I found out the hard way that it's not what you bet on it. That's not the closing line. It's, what it actually finishes at.
Whoa. I think that horse racing is probably the most electric betting atmosphere.
Oh, yeah.
Ooh, that's a good question.
Yeah.
It is because it's dog eat dog, because you're going against everybody else. So everybody is like sitting there in the stands and you're going. So when you're betting on like like NBA or NHL, like if you're on the same side as somebody, you want to be on that side. You guys can root together. But in horse racing, everybody's against each other. Even if you're on the same side, you don't want them to be on the same side. So it's electric. That's probably why there's so many fights at
You
the
bet
track.
on the same horse. You're killing our odds, pal. Get out of here. You're killing the line. Jeez.
Oh, that was
All right. Butch P. Question.
Next question.
Okay.
I got one.
Go ahead, Tex.
Yeah.
What's harder, prop bets or parlays?
Ooh, go ahead. School him.
By harder, you mean what's harder to make money on?
Oh yeah. What's harder to make money on? Parlays.
It's parlays because it's mathematically against you.
So you think you have a better chance of picking out which Gatorade they're going to dump?
Oh, you mean like a prop like that?
Any
I thought
prop.
so. When
you think I'm talking about player props?
When you say prop,
Okay.
my mind automatically goes to player props because
Way to go, Tex.
that's what we do. That's like that's our thing.
My betting.
Sabotage.
I'll tell a Gatorade $75 on orange.
I wouldn't do either one, but it's still parlays because parlays are mathematically created to where you lose money. You have to really be on one side. So if you just take a bet straight up, it's better odds than a parlay bet.
Okay. Now, last question is, how much money are you going to put on Texas to win the Natty next year?
I haven't done any of my research, but chances are $0.
Yes. Tell him.
0 units.
So, okay,
Zero
here's my.
But I'll put a couple of my kids up.
How do you so you said Jake does prop and you do
Like team bets.
Yes, team bets.
With the
How did you
teams.
guys
Yeah,
kind of
yeah.
section? How did you section, or how did you both do? One of you is that better, that you feel that better, have better data, or what's? How did you guys come to that breakdown?
It was kind of organically. Back in the day when I won that, when I went from $100 to 20,000, the end part of that 20,000 was creating the algorithm for player props. So most of that 20,000 was built on player props. And so when I was talking to all of my friends and Jake was the one person who like understood what I was talking about, I told Jake like the formula.
Yeah.
I gave him the secret sauce because I knew that he would like understand it. And so he took the secret sauce and he created more layers to it and made it better. So once that happened, I was like, well, you should probably just take over the player props because you're better at it now. And then, but the thing is we couldn't just specialize in player props. We also needed to do team bets because there's a lot more action in those. So I just kind of like said, all right, I'll figure out an algorithm for the team bets. Kind of just came like organically like that.
Yeah. So how much time goes into, is it time or is it like years developing and I'm not trying to get you to tell us, but like, what's the timeline for developing an algorithm, I guess?
Yeah. I'll and by the way, I'll tell you everything. It's not, I'll even tell you the secret sauce because it's not that you have this secret. It's you have to do the work too. So like our clients, they just don't want to do all the work. So they're just like, hey, just tell me what to do. And then I'll bet it. It's kind of like an investment account. Like we're just telling them what stock to buy in a way.
Right.
So I'll tell you the secret sauce, but to answer your question, it's more over time. It's what's the harder work is creating the algorithms or the systems or the models over time. Once you have that all set, it's robotic. It's just an AI that does it. So like the day-to-day is more just like running the system. It's like pressing a button and having it put an output. So now most of our focus is on like marketing.
Right.
That's most of our focus because the product is kind of already set. We just have to, as humans, we have to like just check to make sure that it's like not going rogue on us.
Right. Text, Chat G, whatever it is.
Chat G, it doesn't. I tried to make a couple of rosters with Chat GPT. Like what would be the most like I was trying to ask it questions, and I was trying to ask it other questions because it wouldn't give me a lineup. It was like, we don't do betting, and I was like, okay, well, what would be who based on green and range, who would be the top 5 players, and it wouldn't give me. It was like, we don't do betting. My data only goes back to 2001, and I was like, okay. So they'd figured out all the tricks to cap it. So everybody's like, okay, you can't use this thing to do that. You could probably ask it to build you what would a formula look like in whatever computer language for a betting system that took in, like for baseball, batting average, recent on base percentage, positive comments in whatever. Like, you could do all kinds of scraping with it, and it would like tell you to do that, and then they could build a system off of it. There's all kinds of YouTube videos out there that have this kind of stuff. It was really interesting, and they do it for stock market too. So
Yeah, absolutely. That's what they do. Like, I've asked Chat GPT because I just wanted to check to see what it would say, just to kind of like check its work. And yeah, it'll tell you everything what to do. And in the sports betting community, we already had that. We already had AI kind of showing us what to do. You kind of touched on it. The Chat GPT, it doesn't go past 2021. But in the sports betting community, they're called systems. So the systems, we put in filters. Like, let's say the Oakland A's, when they play on Tuesday, how much would you have won and how much would you have lost? And then you put in another thing, like on a day game. They play on Tuesday in the day, how much you won, how much you lost.
Versus a night game.
And you put in all these filters and it back tests it. So these AIs that aren't Chat GPT for sports betting, they actually do go back past 2021, and they'll back test it 20 years, and they'll tell you, if you did this system, how much you would have won. So they AI in sports betting ChatGPT has been around for a while, and that's one of the things that we use.
It's like TradingView.
Exactly.
Right.
Yep.
J-Vi.
Yeah. So my question is, you've talked about how hot you guys are right now, and I hope this streak keeps going. I'm not trying to jinx it by any means, but my question is, because you've been doing this since 2009, so I know it's happened. What's your slump buster? Do you have like a sport or like a team or whatever? It's like, I've been in a slump, like, I'm going WNBA because I know I'm going to win that. Like, is there like something that you do to get out of the slump if you're in one, or how do you work that out?
The answer is really boring. And there is no slump buster, because we don't put our human element into it. So we have been really hot since November. We've had like one of the best 5 months that we've had. But in this month, in April, it's been a losing month total. The team bets have been losing. Jake's been up, but if you combine them, we're losing in April. But I was telling, we kind of like we have a little community where we like talk to each other, and I was telling them I was just kind of saying out loud, just so like I'm not so down on myself because I've had a down month. I'm like, well, there's nothing I have to do. I'm not gonna do anything differently. Like, I've been losing, but like tomorrow I'm gonna do the same thing, because this is the robot. The only thing that I would do is I'll just kind of like double check it. I'll just go through the algorithm again just to make sure. So the robot does all of these steps, right? If I'm losing, I guess to answer your question, if I'm losing, I will personally go through every one of those steps to make sure it's doing the correct thing. So instead of relying on the robot, I'll go through and look at every single step. I guess that's
you lay.
That's what I do.
A little service check.
Seems like a manager on something. You got to lay eyes on it. You
do.
And
yeah, you can't just let it go on its own.
But do you have any personal, like, say, a baseball player's in a slump? Let me tell you a quick story about one of the guys in this group. This is why he asked this question.
Okay.
This man played probably the most long-played prank I've ever seen in my life. So J-Vi and I played football together, and we used to ride it in the bus together in the back seat. Even though we had an entire bus, we were on bus 3. We would ride together. And the whole time, he was in a slump. I don't know what your slump was. You had missed a few field goals, maybe even an extra point.
Yeah, I think Yeah, I
And
had like 2 games where I had missed a field goal or extra point. So like, to me, that was a slump.
6-hour bus ride, and he's sitting there just smiling the whole time. Couldn't get the smile off his. I'm like, what is this guy doing? Something's up. We get to the hotel, get out. We're playing. Who are we playing? Georgia Southern.
Georgia Southern.
Yeah, hadn't won there in 10 years. We get out, get into our room. I go to the bathroom. I come out, and he's laying on the bed. J-Vi, you care if I tell the story?
You can tell it.
He's in a leopard print G-string, laying on the bed, on his bed. I said,
Yeah,
you
let's
wore
reference
a
that.
G-string for 6 hours just to get me? He goes, yeah, I've been in a slump. I needed to get out of it. I was like, you could have just done that like under your pants. You didn't have to do it for 6 hours on the bus.
Sat the whole way in the G-string just for the I got you.
Just for the story. So do you have any like personal, like if things are going wrong?
Can I
You
add
make-
though? Can I add though? It worked.
It did work.
It
First time
worked.
we went there over a deck. Do you have any personal ones like switch up the seats during recording?
I
Play-
don't have any
Players
of
only
that.
meeting? You players only meeting? You take the
Dude,
ping pong
dude.
tables out?
They're a robot.
Do you take a
I
rally
mean,
dip?
they stick to the script.
Yeah, it's like I said, it's really boring. If you actually saw all the production of our business, you would be so bored. It's not anything special. But
That would be some good
I don't know
TikTok
if
stuff
I would
though.
be, but yeah.
I think it's fascinating.
I did the same thing with basketball because I played basketball growing
Yeah.
up, and yeah, I was superstitious when I played basketball. Like if I had a bad game, I would do the same thing. So isn't it weird how it's always something with your underwear?
Yes.
Like-
Yeah. Always.
Why is that the case? That's weird. Yeah, I'll do something like won't wear or wear the same underwear for like 3 or 4 days. Or I did a lot of stuff with socks. When I played basketball, I would, because I was kind of like the dirty
Socks,
player. I
yeah.
was the Dennis Rodman, so I
Mm.
had a whole look going. So I would like raise my socks up until I had a good game, and then I would drop them back down. So it's something. It's something. I just don't
Try
hate
it.
with sports betting.
Just try it. Maybe even just like hey, we
One
change this.
day, pull your socks all the way up and see what happens.
Yeah.
The next time I have a bad sports betting day, I'll do something with my socks.
Yes.
Scott's wife's like, "Why are you in my underwear drawer?" Well, I was on this podcast and this guy said it worked for him back in 2007.
It'll be more like, why are you in my underwear drawer again?
Yeah. it's like- Again.
Again.
Yeah. Okay. So
Here
you
comes
guys
baby
watch
number
games?
4.
you guys, there you go. Do you guys watch games together?
No, Jake doesn't even watch that many games because he doesn't want to be influenced by the games.
Oh man.
Oh.
Maybe that's what we need to do.
He's like kind of
Doesn't work.
Yeah, he doesn't. He even like he's kind of religious about it. Where I'm a sports fan. I can't stop watching the games. But Jake doesn't even watch the games because he doesn't want to be influenced. He doesn't want to like. So we have the star system, like I said, where we like put stars on it, and that's the only spot where you might be able to add like a human element. Like someone could just like sneak a star in there because they like one bet. So he doesn't even watch the games because he doesn't want to influence the bets at all. So no, we don't watch the games together.
Okay. All right. J-Vi Tex, any questions? Butch B?
I think that's good.
Yeah.
I think we should put a future on Texas.
Now, do you guys still go to Vegas? I've listened to your show, and there's a lot of stories from Vegas. This is my last question. You guys actually have another question after this. You guys still go to Vegas a lot?
We do, yeah. We're only 4-hour drive from Vegas, so been to Vegas a lot. I'm going to Vegas in August. It's like one of the last bachelor parties that
Oh, geez.
we're 42, so it's like the
R.I.P.
last friend is gonna get married. and it's
Yeah,
our
that's the last one.
This is the last
Dude.
one.
Are you looking forward to it? Are you dreading like are you
kinda-
dreading the effects?
I'm
This
kinda
is a
dreading it.
circle. This is a trust circle.
Yeah.
I gotta tell you, I'm kind of dreading it because
Yeah.
I've always been the party animal in my 20s, and then 30s, it's kind of gets old when you're the party animal in
Yep.
Vegas. I'm 42 now. Like, what am I gonna do there? I can't.
How
I
many
can't-
days did you take off from work afterwards when you get back? That's
Ooh.
the real.
I haven't scheduled that yet, but I'm definitely
Oh.
gonna take some days off.
You need 2 or
After.
3 at least. Yeah,
Yeah.
after.
That is a
Probably
great
3.
idea. I'm gonna take a week off.
Yeah,
How about that? Because
Right. Yeah. For a long weekend, take a week off.
heck yeah,
Okay.
I'm doing it.
Okay, my last question. How do you feel
Mhm.
about the Cardinals color rush jerseys that are apparently permanent now?
Not a fan.
That's it?
That's all I got. I don't know.
What would you want to see as a Cardinals fan?
As far as jerseys go,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't care what jersey you wear. You got to make the right moves in the front office, and they haven't made those right moves.
Mm.
And especially, I'm focusing on the Murray contract. I'm not a fan of that contract.
Mm.
I'm more into the moves that they make with the players, with the contracts. You guys, if as long as you're winning, you can wear any jersey you want.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, so we're doing some contests we're gonna play, and we're gonna list off some players. I don't know if you've done any research on the Mexico tournament coming up Thursday when this releases, but we're gonna go through some of the guys or lineups that we're gonna do. Okay, so Javi, you have golf down there. So you got 3 dudes listed there.
No, I have 2 dudes listed.
He has 2 dudes listed there.
What? So these are who I'm looking at my dart throws. My
We
dart
want you to
throws.
tell us. You
We
tell us.
say like our dart throws are what would you say 7,000 and below
Yeah.
in
sometimes
price?
lower.
So I'm looking at Carson Young because he's been kind of hot. I think he did pretty well at the Masters, and then last weekend he did well too. And then C. Reevy. Those are my 2
Yes.
dart throws. If you look, what's the data saying on those? If you can give them to me.
You tell us.
I haven't looked on those 2 guys. I did put it into the model, and I got a DFS lineup of 6
Oh.
guys.
Oh,
So I don't know if you guys want to like tell me, but those 2 guys aren't in the lineup.
okay. That's what we need to know. There we go.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have
I was about to say.
I have 4. So you just give us a yes or no. We don't need
AK
to know
wrote
who.
his lineup out.
So I'm playing the Mexico tour. This is just we're just spitballing here. I haven't put anything in. Pen is not on paper yet, but keys are on text, or text is on paper. Wyndham, Woodland, Defoe, and Gribble. Now, Wyndham, 9.7K. I got my notepad here. 4 top 10s, 14 out of 16 cuts, 29th, 6th, and 5th. He's been hot. Gary Woodland, 9.6K. 2 top 10s. What did I just say? I wrote that backwards.
2 top 10s.
Yep, 2 top 10s, and then I wrote 10-4. I don't know what the hell I was thinking. You can't make 10 out of 4 cuts. And then 31st, 14th, and 46th. And then MJ Defoe, I love that guy. 8,000, 1 top 10, 13, 18 cuts, 15th, 29th, 19th, his last 3. And then Gribble, 6.7, way down yonder. 2 top 10, 6 out of 11, 57 and 7. So those are the 4 guys. Gribble is the guy I'm zoning in on Dart City, the Dart Night.
I got none of those guys either.
Damn it. Okay.
Yep.
All right.
I mean, it's gonna be hard with golf
This
because
is why
there's
you
so many
believe in
guys.
us, but you don't think that we'll ever win.
No, that's not.
Which
I still
B?
I'm going to
believe.
give you all 6 of the guys that you have right now,
Do it.
starting with Tony Finau,
Mm,
Akshay Bhatia,
nope. On the list.
Steven Yeager, Nate Lashley, Lipinski, and Brandon Wu.
I got none of those guys either. It's gonna be hard with golf because there's so many guys. Though.
Yes.
I'm giving you guys
That's why we love
excuses.
All right. Is Rom on the list?
He actually is.
Okay,
He's-
I
course,
was
yeah.
gonna
Yeah.
say, if
Ro-
Rom's not
He's
on
the
the
first
list,
to be on the list.
Rom's on the thing. The thing though is when you pick Rom. I mean, the computer did this, but when you pick Rom, then the last 4 guy or the last 5 guys, you don't have a whole lot of money to work with.
Exactly.
But
Gribble.
Rom is on the list.
Exactly.
The,
Gribble.
that's,
the
you
model
gotta,
picked him.
Well,
If
You
Ro-
got to gribble. You got to gribble before you shoot. That's what I
if
always
Rom wasn't on the list, then I would say that you should probably recheck the formula.
say.
Okay, yeah, go right back through.
And Tex has an NHL. I don't.
Yeah.
Explain that. I don't know what
I
you.
was just looking at the golf to hop on. See if I was going to see if my guys were on his list because
Just
now
pick
I
2 or
wanted to
3.
know. Now
Go
I
ahead.
wanted to. No, I wanted. I'm gonna do them all just like you guys did.
I didn't. I did 4.
Who? Okay, hang on. I'm almost
I
done.
did 2.
Hang on. Shh.
I literally thought it was Cam Young, and you put some other guy named Carson.
Now it's Carson Young.
All right, Tex.
Okay, my hockey. Oh my gosh, I don't have any money left. Let me tell you the 5. Let me tell you the 5 I got. Let me tell you the 5 I got.
Doing it in
Clark.
Texas.
Clark, Hosgaard, Jaeger, Kim, and Rye. And one of these guys is going to have to go because I don't have any money left to buy anybody.
I got none of those guys either.
Oh, really?
Other than
You
Rom.
literally named
Yeah.
like 15.
Well,
dudes.
after
None of them
if you have Rom, you've got to have everybody under 7,600. I mean,
Not
I think
advice,
that's what
folks.
I think about Rom. Is that,
Before you go on
well,
to
it's
your
not advice,
to
but
your,
it's
to your
a-
list,
I mean, what's got to be?
I'm gonna save that. Save it. I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna clear it.
So, all right, yeah, you don't have to tell us on the list. We just wanted to know
Oh,
Yeah.
who.
he can't say. Yeah, okay, fair enough.
I'll post it later. It's just
Yeah.
like horse racing with DraftKings. Like you can't put out your guys because then if other
put your
people do
horses
it, then you don't win as much money. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So-
I totally understand.
Well-
We were spitballing. We're just saying, hey, this is who we like, and that's why we're the
We
millionaires.
also preference that we're not advice because
Yep.
we don't win very often.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I told you that when I came on. I said
I've
We're
been
not-
catching in hockey, so that's my top lineup right now. Is Kopitar's captain in the showdown. Kopitar's captain, Draisaitl, Nugent Hopkins, Kane, Dursey, who was my dart throw because
Okay.
he's my last guy, and then Ekholm.
But yeah, we
Yeah.
told you that we do the after effects. We're not. I told you that whenever I came on. We're looking at it after the fact.
And that's why I told you I was jealous of you because you don't have any pressure on you. We put
Yeah, we
all the
don't-
pressure on ourselves that we have to do something for our clients. But you guys, there's no
We don't-
pressure.
Yeah, we don't want people being mad at us for our picks. We want them to laugh at us because of our picks.
Like we read them out. You're like not on the list. We're like, yeah, that's what
Oh,
we
you know-
expected.
Here's what I think. I think he's just telling us none of them are on the list, and he's gonna post that some of the guys are on his list.
But they really are.
All of them actually.
He doesn't want to give
So-
any names. So now we're gonna go back and change. It's a reverse psychology ploy.
There we
he's
go.
actually he's playing a lineup and he wants us to lose. So we're changing all of our guys.
You know what?
He's a horse handicapper.
All right.
No.
We got one more segment, then we'll let you. Man, this has been a lot of fun. I'll tell you that. But we got one more. We're gonna give you a little Takeo Tuesday and how dare you. All right, Tex, everybody. Shh. We did it. Nobody said anything. Thank you, Tex. Okay. This segment's brought to you by Really Neat Outfitters. Promo code GOATS. Spend $60, free shipping, 10% off your order checkout at Really Neat Outfitters. Our passion, our family, salty air and smiles, coastal flair, Carolina roots make our designs as original as every single fish you pull out of the water, pal. Check them out at raeo.live. Okay, Takeo Tuesday. Scott, do you know how this works? This is another Takeo Tuesday. Give us your hottest take of the week. You want to go first? You want us to dish in?
I'll go first. I have
Go
one
ahead.
from Jake. Jake's gonna take over this
Yes.
segment.
Haha,
So,
very nice.
He's into Jake loves MMA. He's trying to create an algorithm for MMA so we can start giving those picks out. And
Ooh.
he wanted to talk about how Pavlovich knocked out Blades in this past weekend, and he's really high on him. So he's loving that he called that. What do you guys think? You guys watch MMA?
They think
Mhm.
that he's going to beat John Jones.
So
Yeah, that's
I
what.
picked him too. Actually, I picked him in my lineup myself.
Nice.
To beat
Yeah,
Blades.
I mean, Jake's all about him. I wish Jake was here so he could talk about it. I don't know as much MMA as Jake does,
Me neither.
and you guys
Me
probably know
neither.
more than me.
We
don't.
dabble in
Bro,
it.
I just looked at it and I was like, man, I think this fight could go either way. So I picked him because I was like, this is kind of how this thing works. At times it's like,
He's been on a tear too. He's got like
the most
5
expensive guy,
knockouts
the
in the
most
first round.
yeah. I mean, he had everything that could potentially allow himself to win the fight. So I was like, why not roll the dice on him? Go with
Yeah.
someone else that you were hung up on. You know what I'm saying? So that's what I did, and
They had a picture too
did
that
well for
came
me.
out of him. He was sitting at the slot machines like a few hours before his fight. So Mike, if that doesn't tell you right there that guy's relaxed, he's ready to go to war, then I don't know what does.
Yeah. That's a good one. Yeah, I think Butch P and J-Vi watch more MMA than I do, and Tex too. So, but
I don't even
all right.
watch it.
J-Vi, let's go ahead and get this out of the way. Tex, J-Vi, Butch P, everybody should have just grouped you all into one here.
So my Takeo Thursday goes out to the Rangers. More, I guess, more so the fans at MSG. As we touched on it before, AK is solely responsible for their 2-game losing streak, as the series is now 2-2. But my Takeo is to the fans because I think that the fans they had the Boo Birds out last night. The Boo Birds were out. The boos at the Rangers. Those Boo Birds should not be directed at the players. All of those Boo Birds should be sent in text message form to AK on National Telephone Day, and he should have to read all of them and say all of them because he is solely responsible for these losses.
Tex, I know this is yours, so please jump in.
I just think, some things in your sports fandom are just really important. There's tradition, trying to defend your team, pulling for your team, and really believing in your team. And, there's just people out there. I just think that they just don't take it serious. Like all they do is just like, oh yeah, it's just this thing that I enjoy, and I don't really even care about it. It's just one of those things I don't even care. It doesn't matter to me if they win or lose. I don't care. So, I guess guys who don't honor that and support their team through, all the things you're supposed to do in a traditional sports setting in that specific sport, I just really think, it's disgusting to me. That's my take-o.
You think people should take their fandom seriously?
Yeah.
Now, Scott, mind you, these two jabronis, neither of their team are in the playoffs.
Doesn't matter.
So their playoffs are watching my teams fail.
No, it's not.
I just can't wait for the Rangers to lose 2 more games and then AK doesn't talk to us for a week.
Yep.
Or answer his phone or respond like he did when the Niners lost.
Turned his phone off like a little 16-year-old.
So they're saying this it's solely on my shoulder. So instead of spelling it SOUL patch, they're going to make me spell it SOLE patch.
Yep.
Soul patch.
Mm-hmm.
Butch P. Okay, how dare you?
All right, hey, we got the draft coming up. Yep, there we go.
All right, draft. Take out Thursday. All right, how dare you? Now, this is something here. Scott, we're gonna let you go first. How dare you? You take something where just how dare you? That's really all you can say for the week. How dare you? Go ahead.
Well, I already gave my hand away earlier in the podcast when I talked about technology. And that's what I'm saying is how dare you technology. This is coming from our producer Chris, because he handles all that. But I mean, the audio, the video, it's got to be easier than what it is. You would think we're in 2023. It's got to be easier than what it is. Technology, how dare you?
Totally agree. I fought with a printer for about 6 hours on Sunday, trying to get it hooked up. When it was on step 5 out of 5, halfway through, it just stopped. It just completely gave up, and it just kept spinning the wheel of death for like an hour. And I was like, now I got to restart this whole thing. So I agree with you. How dare you? Okay.
You should put it on your 1G internet.
I should. I think it was. But anyways, so my how dare you is the New York Rangers. You scumbags. You absolute pigeon, jabroni, Jacksons. They stink. If I have to see them run a play up the boards to the left side one more time just to get trapped and lose the puck, they can't win a face-off. Their power play is atrocious. Patrick Kane, Mika Zibanejad, nowhere to be seen. Chris Kreider, nowhere to be seen. They ran the same play 40 times up the left boards to the left wing. Oh, wait, there's 3 Devils there? Whoa. I guess they figured that out. Let's try something different. Nope, they'll never see this coming. Up the left boards to the left wing. Wait, there's 3 Devils there. It was the worst thing. It was awful.
You're such a millennial.
And
blaming everybody
I'm
but
gonna say
yourself.
this: one of their biggest fans shaves his beard off.
Doesn't believe in him.
Who is that
the
guy?
Rangers are saying, "How dare you?"
You know what? We'll do a how dare you duel. So, all right, Tex.
What they're showing you.
AK, how dare you? I mean, how dare you
I know.
come out
See,
here
I told
and
you.
even talk about, oh my gosh, dude. You put it on their shoulders. How dare you?
Tex should get an honorable mention because I know that wasn't his original how dare you. My how dare you is to the NBA playoffs.
Oh, Scott, yes.
Not that I was going to watch it anyway, but the fact that you have your lead commentary, Charles Barkley, saying that the NBA playoff game is so boring that he is watching hockey instead should be a disgrace to your sport. How dare you, NBA playoffs, for being boring?
And anything Charles Barkley says should be put in gold.
Yeah,
because that guy is the man.
He is awesome.
Look at this right here. Can you guys see?
Oh,
that?
there he is.
Yes.
Big 3-4.
Yep. I got a painting of him behind me.
The Barkley's worse than his bite.
The round rebound guy.
That's what they called him back in the day. Okay, Scott, we're going to jump to some NBA playoffs real quick. I know you're an NBA guy, right?
I love all sports, but yes, I played basketball growing up.
Okay, so give us your thoughts on Jimmy playoffs.
I mean, that performance the other night was unbelievable. It was kind of the only thing that I don't like about it is that I had the Bucks in the series, just as like a personal side bet. I went on another podcast and I said the Bucks are going to come back, and then they lost.
Yikes!
So, but it's good to see Jimmy G do that. I still think that the Bucks could pull this series off, though. I think that they can come back and win 3 in a row. They did it to the Suns. We were up 2-0 in the NBA championships 2 years ago. They came back and won 4 in a row. So the Bucks are the team that can win 3 in a row. But it was a great performance by Jimmy Butler.
That was all the rage on Twitter and every single sports outlet, media, whatever you want to call it. It was Jimmy Butler. Now, would you pick? Okay, so let me do this.
That's literally one of the ways that I know that the NBA is in the playoffs. Like, again, I don't really follow basketball that much, but you don't what's happening kind of through Twitter. It's like you don't hear anything, and all of a sudden, around April, end of March, you start seeing a lot of Jimmy Butler, and I'm like, oh, it must be playoffs because he just always finds a way to go off during the playoffs.
Would you say he's one of the greatest playoff performers of all time? Playoff no. Jay?
He doesn't come to mind when I think of playoffs. Not really, but I mean, he's done it lately. It seems like I mean, if you say, it's not advice. If you say if you say if you say that there's an NBA script, it does seem like they're trying to put that into the script. But I mean, the Heat aren't going to go anywhere. They're not going to they got to get past the Bucks. They got to get past whoever's in the second round. I can't remember. And then they got to get past either the Celtics or the Sixers, and then whoever's in the championship. So it's a good story now. It's a fun story to see like an 8 seed maybe beat a 1 seed. And I think that's why that's there is because of the story, but it's not going to go anywhere. He's not going to get. The Heat are not going to win the championship.
So if you had to pick Kawhi Leonard, Jason Tatum, or Jimmy Butler, who would you pick? Playoffs
for
Jason
a team.
Tatum.
If I'm starting a team, yeah, I'm going Tatum.
Okay, he's never won a championship.
Yeah, he's a Duke fan, by the way.
Okay.
All right, and then what do you think about Dylan Brooks? He was he's out there below the belt and people. Is that his name? Yeah, Dylan Brooks.
Talking trash on LeBron?
Yeah. How'd that turn out for him?
Yeah, I mean, that's not gonna I don't know what that guy's doing.
Did you see the Lakers graphic they put up? Did y'all see that?
I didn't see it.
They put a Laker graphic, and it's one of those ones with like their heads are at the top, and then it lists all their stats. It said NBA MVPs, LeBron like 8 or whatever it is, and then it was like NBA championships 4, and the whole left side under Dylan Brooks was 0.
Jeez.
Yeah, I mean, I understand what he's doing coming from like playing basketball and being I was a defensive player. That's what you got. You have to do that. You have to use like getting inside another player's mind when you're playing defense. So that's what he's trying to do. But I mean, you're going up against now, if you want to, you were talking about, is Jimmy Butler one of the best playoff? I know LeBron is an easy pick, but he is one of the best playoff players of all time. So you think that you're going to like get in that guy's head? You're not going to get in his head.
He's seen the guys like you like for the last 20
the
years.
thing I liked about it the most was that everyone probably anticipated LeBron coming out the very next game and just destroying Dylan Brooks in Memphis, and he didn't do that. He hesitated for a game and came out the next game and destroyed him and allowed his buddy Anthony Davis to come out the very next game and said, you know what, LeBron, I've got your back. I'm going to come out and show them what's what. So Anthony Davis came out there and, obviously he can steal the show at any night. And then it was the next game that LeBron came out and stole the show. So to me, that just shows the maturity level of one of the greatest players to ever play basketball, which he is. I mean, bar none.
For sure.
He's 1 or 2.
He ain't played nobody, Paul.
There's
He
only
ain't played nobody, Paul.
But me, I'm still an MJ fan, but the numbers don't lie on LeBron, So
Yep. All right. So
there
that
you have it.
NBA playoffs. So all right, NFL real quick. Rogers saga finally over. Takes
2020.
on that, Scott.
On Rodgers going to the Jets?
Yep.
I actually like it for all the parties involved. I think that it was a good trade. If you look at everything that was listed, I think the Jets made out for where they stand and what they're looking for. And the Packers, the same thing. They need to get rid of Rodgers. They need to start like whatever rebuilding process they're going to do. And they got those items in the trade. So I actually think it's like one of the best trades that's come around in the last couple of years.
Right, yeah. Tex, what do you think?
I think that neither team won. Now they got Rodgers on the Jets, and we don't really know what Jordan Love is going to do with the Packers. He's been waiting in the wings for a while. He knows this. He knows the system most likely, but is he the same type of player as the last two guys they had? And I don't know.
They're going to be a power running team. You can bet your bottom dollar they're going to run the damn ball with those two backs.
Yeah, but the thing they always set him
Hey, I
free
bet
was Rogers to Jordy Nelson or Rogers to who's the guy who went to the Jefferson, not Jefferson. The guy went to the Raiders.
Devontae Adams,
Adams, yeah.
Josh Jefferson. Never
Josh
played with
Jefferson,
Pac-
his stud wide receiver. Everybody knows that.
These are the Vikings.
No,
We have
that's nobody.
Scott. We have to check
and
our
that's
stat guy.
and by the
too.
way, it's not Josh, it's Justin.
There you go, JJ.
Justin.
I think Josh
Jefferson
Jefferson
plays
played
for
with
JJ.
us at App.
Oh, okay, whatever.
I think.
Anyways, I think that's. I don't think either team really won. I think they got an old ass quarterback who's earlier before he was really washed up got paired with a good receiver and made him look really really good, but they just don't have the Jordy Nelsons or any of those guys on their team to pick it up.
They had the Rookie of the Year.
Quite
Offensive Rookie of the
honestly,
Year.
No.
I
Yeah,
think
forget
the
facts.
Jets won in this because and I'm gonna tell you why. The Jets were
Tell us.
on the teeter. Dude, the Jets were really good last year, in my opinion. I mean, they fell off the table at the end of the year. But to me, I followed the Jets because I saw something in them. And then, it was obviously came down to their quarterback play, and they were trying to go back and forth between quarterbacks. And I think Rodgers is going to be able to eliminate that question right there that, he knows how to play the game. Now, is he as good as he once was? No, absolutely not. But I think he has the weapons that he needs there with their wide receiving core. And they're going to have a running game. They had a good defense all year long last year. They are going to be a playoff team next year. Are they going to win the Super Bowl? Absolutely not. When Patrick Mahomes is still in the AFC, you're going to have to go through Kansas City, and that's not going to happen for them. But are they going to make it to the playoffs? There's a good chance that the Jets make it to the playoffs next year.
Yeah.
So
With now Rodgers as a quarterback, because that was their weakest link as a team was their quarterback play, because they didn't know who the hell to throw in there the week in and week out. And also I think, not that he's a great locker room guy, but if he would be, to teach those younger guys that are there how to play the game in his last years. I mean, I think
been known
he
to
can
have
groom them into be a better quarter.
He's been known to treat young players well and have good relationships.
No, I mean, no, he sucks at it. I mean,
is it
All right.
is it true he spent
right.
a week in the Caribbean drinking ayahuasca?
Probably. See,
I'd bet on it.
There's no I in team though. So
Would you
he should
bet
be
on the Jets to make the playoffs?
ooh,
I don't know. Off the top of my head, probably
I
not,
will.
just because I wouldn't, because the value wouldn't be there. Because a lot of what we do, that one of the secret sauces is that we bet against the public. So right now, they're in the spotlight. I bet you people are putting bets on the Jets right now. And so the value is going down.
They're like 6 to make the Super Bowl or something.
There you go. Yeah, I agree with that.
Would you bet the Cowboys to make the
They're
Super
what
Bowl?
now?
I don't know.
No,
I haven't
they're
looked
always
into
a
that
favorite.
one. Cowboys, I would say I don't.
They're plus 1,000 right now.
No, I wouldn't do it at plus 1,000. It's all. Thanks for giving me the line, because it is all in the value. Usually when I'm looking for a Super Bowl winner, I'm looking for somebody above 2,000, just because there's more value.
I was about to say 2,500
or 2,500. Yeah.
Yeah.
Would you bet Texas to win the Natty?
He already said no.
Couple children.
Hell no.
Couple of my children.
Speaking of Rodgers and the Cowboys, time together. You guys aren't going to like this. because Rodgers is now a Jet. The team that has a quarterback that has been at their team the longest consecutively than any other team is now the Cowboys with Dak Prescott.
Mm.
And you guys want to get rid of him.
Yep.
Really?
Wow.
You got your 10-year quarterback, dude.
I would say, dude, like I told AK, I said, Dak is getting paid. So Dak has got to perform. And that's our beef with Dak is that, man, you can't tell the public that interceptions is not going to be an issue, and you go throw twice as many interceptions after that. I want Dak to succeed because he's a Cowboy, but at the same time, I've got to be a realist and say, look, Dak, you've got to perform on the field, and I want you to perform on the field, but you're not performing on the field.
Mm,
So I
Yeah.
think that's an honest statement to Dak. Is like you've got to take the bull by the horns, and bro, you got to go out there and throw touchdown passes, not interceptions.
Yep.
Touchdowns to the other team does not win football games in the NFL. I mean, it's such a game of you
Of
got to
points.
be on top of your game. You know,
Yeah. All
you
right.
have to score more points than the other team.
There, there, and there you have it. I was able to successfully pull a Takeo Tuesday from Bush.
Yeah. Oh, okay. That's a good one to end it on. Quickly, the hockey playoffs. I don't know if Carolina won. They were up 3-1. Dallas
No, they did
2-2.
not. They did not.
Okay, so that's 3-2.
Dallas was
Colorado.
up. Dallas won 4-0, and then the Kings are getting beat out the Rogers place right now.
All right,
5-2.
Colorado 2-2. Vegas was up 3-1. New York Rangers Devils tied 2-2. Toronto 3-1.
That one's
Edmonton.
over.
And then Boston 3-1. Edmonton 2-2. Edmonton 2-2. All right.
Oh, the
All right.
Hawks
Okay.
just upset
That's
the Celtics.
Wait a minute. Last
the
betting
way.
question. Now that you have the final piece of information on the Rangers with AK shaving his beard, would you bet the Rangers to win this series?
I probably would lean towards the Rangers because they've lost 2 in a row.
No. Okay.
So-
But he
So
shaved
then-
his beard.
I know you don't want that as an answer, but probably
Human element.
because he shaved his beard, they're gonna win.
So did I save the season?
Well, I guess we'll find
Oh.
out. We'll find
Stay
out if they
tuned.
win.
All right, man.
Wait a minute. That was a horse handicap answer. He wants us to.
You're on to me now. I knew I shouldn't have
He's
given away my.
He's riding
secret
you like
sauce.
a Clydesdale, pal. All right. Any other questions?
I like Mustangs.
All right, man. Thanks for joining us. I know we ramble a lot. We go all over the place, but dude, glad to have you on, man. You and the UBetSmart guys, you guys are awesome.
This was a lot of fun coming on, guys. It was like a hang. We're just hanging out.
That's all we try.
Tell the people where to find you, man. On Twitter, on Instagram, all that stuff at UBetSmart.
Yep, everything's at UBetSmart. It's the letter U, Bet Smart. And then you can also subscribe and follow the UBetSmart podcast. And then also, if you want to sign up and you want to make some money betting on sports, go to dubclub.win, search for UBetSmart, and you can sign up. You can also DM us on Twitter, and we will give you a 50% off code too.
Boom. How about that, people? That's great, man. All right.
Dude, I'm signing up tomorrow.
Ooh.
All right.
Yeah, baby. All right. Now that was coast to coast, ladies and gentlemen. So UBetSmart, the Millie Goats collab. Had some fun. So we will see you next week. Look at us on Twitter at Millie Goats, on Instagram at the Millie Goats, on YouTube and Rumble, the Millie Goats, our website and blog, themilligoats.godaddysites.com. We'll see you next week.
Later.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, man.